Up next we have Vigilante, and y'all, my baby daddy is in this. Hey guys, it's Angela. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, that's kind of weird. Why haven't you subscribed yet so that we can become besties? Don't you know that the moment you subscribe, we automatically become besties? Like, this is literally a visual representation of what we'll be the moment you hit the subscribe button. But it's okay. It is okay. I'm a very patient person. I'll wait. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite dramas of all time. I've been putting off this video for quite a long time because I feel like you guys have like very high expectations for me, and I don't want to not follow through with those expectations. Like, I don't want to make this list and then y'all be like, wow, this is trash, and then you guys all unsubscribe and then you guys all hate me and dislike the video and just leave and never return. So I've been kind of scared. But since you guys have been asking for it for so long, and since I don't have a My Drama List account for you guys to just click and know what dramas I've watched, haven't watched, and reviewed and all that stuff, I figured like it was about time to make this video. But since we're besties and I want to be really honest and really transparent with you guys, I know I could probably just put like the most popular dramas on this list and call it a day, but I'm gonna actually be putting my personal favorite dramas. I've watched a lot of dramas, so here's a quick little disclaimer that if your favorite drama is not on this list, it doesn't mean I think it's bad, it doesn't mean I think it's trash or anything like that. It's just that I've easily watched over 200 dramas, so obviously even though I think a lot of them are really good, for these dramas on this list, there's specific things in these dramas that stuck out to me personally that made me want to put them on this list. I changed the lighting in this video and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Like, if you guys think it looks good, let me know. If you guys like the other lighting better, also let me know. I don't know. This list is going to be biased towards more recent dramas because they're the ones I remember best, and I don't keep track of my dramas when I watch them. And it's also not going to be in any specific order, so 1 is not better than 15, nor is 15 better than number 1. And I will give you a fair warning right now that a good amount of these dramas are sad, but obviously I'm not going to tell you guys which ones because that's kind of going to spoil it all, and I'm going to try my best to say all these without spoiling anything. So I'm just letting you know now that you have to pick these dramas at your own risk. It's giving Russian roulette, but it is what it is. And one more thing before we get into this video, I am talking about these dramas from memory. Yep, from the cranium. So good luck, everybody. Oh, I lied. One more thing to say. This is gonna be K-dramas and C-dramas both in the same video. The first drama I want to talk about is called The Red Sleeve, and it actually stars one of my favorite K-drama actresses, Lee Se-young. This drama is a historical K-drama, and it basically follows this court maid in the palace as well as the crown prince, who I'm pretty sure is in line to inherit the throne. The court maid has been in the palace her whole life, and everybody knows her to be like this smart, intelligent girl who's also like a ray of sunshine and positivity. I would say that she's pretty selfless in character, and even though she follows her heart, she does it in a way that's like not reckless or an inconvenience to others. Because I know there's a lot of dramas where like people will follow their heart and do what they want because they think it's like the best course of action, but they don't do it in a smart way and it just like inconveniences everybody else. Like, she will know what she wants but then like go about it in a way that's smart, in a way that like considers other people, so that doesn't become like a problem in the plot. Anyways, one day she's in the library, you know, being like not like the other girls, reading her books, studying up, and this is where she catches the attention of the crown prince, and that's basically where their story begins. This is a romance drama and there are politics involved, but it's not like the biggest main theme that's going on here. The biggest theme is kind of just like the journey of the court maid and how she kind of lives her life and how everything ends up laying out the way that it does. And guys, I love this story so much that I literally start like physically convulsing when somebody does not share the same passion about it as I do. Everything about this story, from how the characters act to all the side characters to everything and all the politics and everything that's going on in this drama, literally makes me love it so much just because there's so much detail in it. One advice I'd want to tell people who are watching this drama is to just please pay attention. Usually I just tell people that, hey, sometimes the sky is just blue, but this is not one of those cases. The more you kind of dig into the story, the more you're kind of doing too much, the more you're kind of reaching, the better this story gets, because there are so many things in here that like once you pay attention to it and as the story like continues, you're just like, damn, and it just like hits different. If somebody tells you you're reaching, go ahead and tell them that I said that you're actually not reaching enough and I need you to go deeper. Yeah. Up next we have The Forbidden Flower. And I don't care, y'all. I'm dying on this hill. I don't care if y'all beat my ass. I don't care if y'all drag me through the mud. I don't care if y'all are beating me up just as much as my other video that I posted that people are dragging me through the filth for. This is literally one of my guilty pleasures when it comes to dramas. This is a story about a young woman who's basically experiencing the world and love at the very same time and for the first time. And even though this is the best way I can explain it, I promise you guys this is not one of those weird innocent girl meets the world for the very first time, even though that's literally what I just said. It's not one of those dynamics. It's not weird, okay? Just hear me out. The story is about a girl who ends up going to a hair salon out of town, which is actually against her mother's advice because her mom is a bit more on the controlling side. Actually very controlling. By the time she gets her hair done, she ends up falling in love at first sight with the man who's doing her hair. But when she books another appointment to see him again, which is actually real as fuck, she finds out that he's not even there anymore. So she ends up searching and looking for this guy, but when she actually ends up finding him, she realizes that he's a lot more emotionally reserved than she thought he would be. This is one of those situations where I make an exception to my normal beliefs, and this just because usually whenever there's really huge age gaps, I feel like most of the time it's done out of impure intent, but there's a reason why I say most and not all, and I feel like this is one of those situations where it's not done out of impure intent. It's to the point where I usually ended up forgetting about their age gap until somebody else brought it up or it became another plot in the story. And I really love the cinematography of this drama. Even though I watched it in the thick of winter, I felt like it was a nice summer's day. I was about to go outside, start skipping, start talking to the birds and stuff, start tweeting with the bees. I don't even know. Like sometimes a love story is just a love story, but sometimes it's told so beautifully that like it just feels a little too real. Like I literally feel like this happened. I feel like I was watching this as it took place and I just ended up placing it inside of my memory, and it's just a thing that's canon in real life to my life because that's how real this show felt. But I do want to say that I cannot vouch for the second couple in this drama because I just felt like they're a distraction, but that's just a constant with me. I always don't really like the second lead. So the things I'm saying about this drama is about the main couple because I literally cannot say anything about the second couple because I did not watch the second couple.
这世界上有很多种初遇，美好的、难忘的，但都不及我第一次见到小韩时的感受。
The next drama on my list is Story of Kunning Palace, or The Story of Kunning Palace. And this gives angst and dark romance in the best way possible. I'm telling you guys right now. This is one of those second chance dramas where the main lead goes back in time. But rather than a situation where she was the victim of everybody else's actions, our female lead is actually the perpetrator. Yeah, she was the villainess. She was the one beating people up. She was the red flag, I fear. But now that she's been given a second chance at life, she decides that she's gonna right her wrongs and she's gonna just try to live her life without falling into the chaos that is historical politics. But one thing leads to another and she ends up entangled with the very same man that ended up killing her in her first life because he's now her tutor. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I low-key made this sound corny as all heck, but I promise you guys, like, it is far from that, okay? It has a lot of mysteries and stuff going on, so while you're watching, you can try to solve the very same problems that they're dealing with because they don't make you an omniscient viewer, so you don't really know everything that's happening. You only figure things out as they're figuring it out. On top of this, if you're the type of person who likes dark romances but never actually watches any because they're never properly executed, I just want to say that this is how I wish all dark romances were produced because this was done perfectly. There was so much angst, there was so much tension, there was so much everything. Like, I loved it. Up next we have Love Reset, and this one's actually a movie, but I really liked it, so it's on this list. The story is about a couple who have been fighting for so long that they finally decide that they want to get a divorce. However, the moment they decide they're actually gonna go through with it, they both end up getting into an accident and they both end up losing their memories. So with like 2 months left to finalize their divorce, they end up having to figure out whether or not they actually want to stay together or get divorced. I just thought that this was a really fun and quick watch. I'm notoriously bad at getting through movies, which is kind of crazy because I can sit through dramas for like 6 hours straight with no problem, but the moment it comes to a movie, like I just cannot, and I don't know why. But I was able to watch this movie no problem. I didn't even realize that it was gonna be over by the time that it was over, and I was actually sad that it was over because I was just like, what? I wanted more. So that has to mean something, right?
영화 같았어요. 지금도 영화 같아요. 장르가 스릴러로 바뀌어서 그렇지. 신은 공평하다고 하잖아요. 저한테 인텔리전스하고 핸섬을 준 대신에 저 여자를 던졌으니까.
모기 같은 존재죠. 아무리 때려잡아도 자꾸 나타나는.
조용히 하세요, 그냥.
하지 말랬다. 말랬대. 엄마 더해. 진짜.
다들 누구신데?
왜 와 이러노?
부부요? 우리 아가 저 빠꾸 됐단 말입니까?
야, 30일 못 기다려? 알람 맞춰놔야지.
Up next, we have the first frost. And if you have been watching dramas for even like 1 week, you know what the first frost is and you've heard everybody say that they like it. So now it's my turn to blab about why I like it so much. Even though this is technically a spin-off of Hidden Love, that's more of a fun fact rather than anything that has to do with the drama itself. If you don't know, Hidden Love is basically like this other popular drama. It follows the story of a girl and her desk mate from high school who had a connection together. But then one day, seemingly out of nowhere, she decides to cut all contact with him despite the fact that they promised each other that they would be going to the same college together. And her desk mate is completely heartbroken by this because it's seemingly out of nowhere. The story picks back up again once they meet years later at a bar and they eventually become roommates. It's only then that we start to get all the pieces and all the little bits of information that led to her sudden disappearance and disassociation. I really like this drama because it really just kind of shows the perspective of how much a person's life is dependent on the people around them and the situation that they're born into. Things like their living situation, their support system, like how much they feel they're valued in society, just like all those kinds of factors. Something else I really like about this drama is how every one of like the main cast is very mature in their thinking and in their execution, because even though they have very valid reasons to be upset with their corresponding situations, they don't let that anger kind of like overpower them or like become more important than the relationships that they've made and like they value, which I really like, because sometimes in these dramas like there will be like some sort of misunderstanding or something that happens, and because of that they just completely discredit all of their history altogether, where it's like if you really valued that person you would kind of like want to make it work. You wouldn't be so willing to just let it go like that. You get what I'm saying? It's really great, and it shows the realities of how two people can meet despite like their separate backgrounds and find mutual understanding, and I think it's really great. So watch it. Yeah, watch it. Highly recommend. Watch it. Yes, watch it.
魏凡，这些年你过得快乐吗？ 别怕，无论发生什么，我会一直陪着你。这次我保护你。这么多年，我还是只喜欢你。
Up next, we have Lovely Runner, which is a really popular drama that I'm sure you've heard about at this point. We follow the story of a girl who, despite her life doing a complete 180 because of an accident that leaves her paralyzed, she finds peace in her favorite boy band group, and specifically the main singer. But when she finds out that this very same man ends up taking his own life, her life completely falls apart. Lo and behold, she finds herself in the past, in high school, where she realizes that she and this guy are actually a lot closer than she once ever thought. And it's at this point that she makes it her mission to save him the very same way that he saved her. This drama takes some dark themes and actually makes them really lighthearted. The year this drama came out was like a year of green flags left and right, but this was towards the beginning before it became more of a trend, but it was the greenest of green flags at the time, so it really just kind of made its mark. And it was also done like the best. Even though it became a trend for green flag male leads to come out at this time, they all kind of seemed more repetitive, but like this one did it properly, if that makes sense. And I loved it so much because like bring back guys who actually like you and actually want to spend time with you and actually don't hate you and actually don't want to see you fall down a hill and laugh at you while you're rolling all the way down. Hello? Yeah, let's bring back not liking guys who have shitty personalities.
Sorry.
Up next we have Vigilante, and y'all, my baby daddy is in this. My baby daddy's in this, and they did him so right. They did him perfectly. I loved it. Ate it up. Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thank you. We follow the story of a young man who's very upset with the legal system despite being a young police officer in training himself. This mainly due to the fact that his mother was actually murdered, but the murderer only got off with basically like a slap on the wrist instead of actually being put to justice. And because of this, he decides to take actions into his own hands, and he's like, yeah, I'm actually gonna become the legal system, and I'm gonna give these people what they deserve. But unfortunately, the legal system in fact does not work like that, so all the police and all the investigators are on the lookout looking for this guy who's basically carrying out punishment on behalf of the legal system for people who only got off with a slap of the wrist. And because of this, they're all looking for this guy who they call the Vigilante. Honestly, I think that this is a really nice action and suspense story. There's no romance in it, so if you're looking for romance, this is not the drama for you. I have some bias in this because I really want to see Nam Joo-hyuk in a role like this, and he actually ended up doing a role like this and pulled it off perfectly. So yeah, I was happy. I was kicking my feet. What? I'm just a girl. Can you be mad at me for it? But if you're the type of person who wants to get into these kind of action suspense stories, I would definitely say that you should check this out, just because it's really good at engaging you and keeping you interested in the story, especially because you don't really have to keep up with everything that's happening or all the mysteries. It's not like the historical politic dramas where it's just like you have to know this person and this person's name and how they're related in this relationship or that relationship. It's not like that. It's very straightforward, and I feel like if you don't really like action or mystery dramas because they're just kind of doing too much, this is like the drama for you. Up next we have New Life Begins, and low-key it's been a long time since I watched this, so let's hope I get this right. It's more of like a slice of life story, I want to say, because even though your main focus is the main lead and the main couple, you get so much of the stories of the other couples, and they're so integrated that like you can't really separate them from the main lead. Like the story is all of them. You can't just only focus on the main lead. The story starts off with this kind of like marriage selection thing going on, and it basically takes noble women from like all across like the area and brings them all to like this one meeting place with other noble guys, and they're basically like a matchmaking service where the guys end up picking who they want to be their wives. Our female lead lives on the countryside where she would rather be, rather than in all this royal mumbo jumbo, but lo and behold, she goes to this meeting and she ends up getting picked nonetheless by our male lead. It's at this point where the viewer starts seeing all the different relationships between all the other young ladies and men who ended up in a relationship together, while also watching our female lead and our male lead tackle marriage before love. It's been such a long time since I've watched this, so I'm trying to keep it vague without like saying any pivotal plot moments in the story. But what I will say is that it's a really good drama if you want the like complexity of like those kind of angsty relationship dynamics or more complex relationships without actually having to deal with like the struggle and the stress of this happening to your like main couple. It's kind of like I just liked it because I could just kind of brush all that stuff to like the other couples where I could just kind of feel bad for them or be intrigued, but then go back to my main couple who's like very much stable and very much has a more normal relationship dynamic without having to get too invested with everybody else's situation happening. So yes, I did sacrifice those other couples as tribute. If this sounds really confusing to you, I'm just gonna say that like I really think that you should check this drama out. It's really nice and it has a lot of themes and stuff that I think you can get out of it.
Oh my god, are you crying? No, it's just raining.
Up next we have Falling Into Your Smile. I started watching this when I was relatively new to K-dramas, and it did set the bar pretty high for me. It also led to me binging all of Shukai's dramas afterwards. The story is about a girl who, despite being really good at gaming, doesn't do it professionally. In fact, her parents have basically set up her life like to go like in that linear manner where she just goes to school and then gets a job afterwards and just kind of lives a stable life. And I'm pretty sure she's already on track to getting her degree, or she's already gotten her degree at the time this story takes place. But all this changes when she gets an invite from one of the most popular gaming teams at the time, and if she chooses to accept it, she'll become the very first professional female gamer. And yes, this sounds very corny, but it's not, I swear. Yes, there's romance in it, but like how corny would I have sounded if like in that summary I was basically like, and now she has to tackle gaming and love at the same time. Will she do it? Like, come on now, I couldn't say that. So I'm just telling you right now that yes, there's romance in it. Anyways, I just think it's a really nice casual watch, and there's no like evil villains that end up stressing you out to the point where like you start losing hair or anything like that. And I've literally watched this like 3 times already, so that has to be saying something. And I also think it's a really good introduction to C-dramas if you're looking for a romance C-drama.
500万，离开我的儿子。我成哥，我能叫你成哥吗？
叫爸爸多合适。
哪个好看？
蓝色。
直男的审美都是用来排除的。
心有猛虎，细嗅蔷薇。没脸见人呗。来自队长大人奖励你的小红花。
傻猪鹿思成，这丑话还擦不掉。
人总要学会自己成长。
在你心里，难道我不是3岁小孩吗？
它是什么国家3级保护动物大熊猫吗？大熊猫不是1级保护动物吗？
有没有向往？
辛苦了，扯大的 AD 居然抛弃我跑去中路了。
你们俩怎么每次单独出去都打扮得跟要去民政局似的？ 你们俩什么时候在一起的？
Up next we have What Comes After Love. And my girl Issa Young only picks dramas that have angst in it. I feel like that's actually within her contract, that she will not play in a drama unless there's angst or some type of stress going on in it. I ended up really liking this drama a lot, so I was kind of sad to see that I didn't really receive the love that I wanted it to get. Like, it's not like everybody said that it was trash or anything like that, but it just kind of did average on the charts. We basically follow the story of 2 people years after their breakup and how it's affected them. As the story moves forward, we end up seeing more things about their past that ends up explaining the things that led up to their breakup and the things that put them in their current situation. I really like this drama because of the the way that it was directed. I felt like I was fully immersed in it. Like when a character got angry, I was angry. When the character was frustrated, I was frustrated. When a character wanted to get something off their chest, I wanted to get something off my chest. I was fully immersed. I think it did a really good job showing that things that other people might consider just little aren't just little things to other people. Like it's way more significant to them, and it just kind of shows more that like love isn't only about like words and affirmation, but it's actually more about action and consideration rather than just sweet nothings.
중구를 만날 줄 알았더라면 가지 않았을 텐데. 사랑에도 유효기간이 있다는 건 세상 천지가 다 아는 일이었지만 나만은 다를 거라고, 우리의 사랑만은 다를 거라고 굳게 믿었다.
あの日、本は今までに見たことのない表情で僕に怒鳴った。あの時、僕が何か言っていれば、君を失うことはなかったのだろうか。
まだその人のことが好きですか?
Up next we have Hi Bye Mama. And you know what? Fuck Hi Bye Mama. I don't know who to slap because I'm not allowed to slap anybody. How do you go into a drama wanting to hate somebody, but you're not allowed to hate anybody because everybody's a good person? Answer me that. Riddle me this. If you hate yourself, watch Hi Bye Mama. That's all I have to say.
난 귀신이다. 사람들 눈에 보이지 않는 귀신.
뭐야? 잡았어! 설마 나 지금 사람 됐어?
49일 안에 네가 원래 자리를 찾으면 영원히 그대로 살 수 있어.
왜 그래요? 못 볼 거 본 사람처럼.
이게 말이 돼? 말이 됐지, 됐어. 그럼 어떻게 해? 어떻게 하지 나? 놀라지 마. 유리가 살아 돌아왔어.
Up next we have Blossom. And yes, we're going back in time again. C-dramas love this trope, and yes, I eat it up every single time. The story is about a young woman who's been treated unfairly by her husband and his family. But because his family goes into ruin, she decides that she's gonna escape and live her best life. But on her way to her destination, she ends up running into like some sort of trouble. This is where the Duke swoops in and saves her and offers to get her to her destination, or basically where she's trying to get to. But unfortunately, even though he was trying to help her, he also has his own politics and situations going on. So he ends up dragging her into her troubles. And despite the fact that he was doing his best to save her and get her out of the situation, he ends up dying while trying to protect her, and she loses her life as well because it's like a bow and arrow situation happening. I'm pretty sure that like the arrow like hits through him and then it also hits through her, and then she like falls down like dramatically, and they both died basically is what I'm trying to say. But lo and behold, she opens her eyes and realizes that she's gone back in time to a point where she was really young. I think like she looked like she was like 12 years old, and this is where she realizes that she's been given a second chance. But many years after her return, she ends up encountering the Duke once again, but he looks quite different than how she first saw him. Sorry guys, my camera died. Gang, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I low-key failed you guys with that summary because it doesn't sound like as interesting as it actually is. But again, this is a constant theme throughout all of these summaries that I'm giving you, where it's just like there's so many plot points in this, which is why it makes the drama so good. But I can't say these plot points because it's gonna spoil the drama. So you guys just have to take my word for it and know that this is good, okay? These are good, trust. It does kind of the very same thing as all the other historical dramas, except for the fact that it actually does it well. I feel like a lot of the times these kind of stories, they try to go for something, but they don't end up actually pulling it off. I feel like this drama pulls it off very well, which is the reason why I like it so much. There's a mix of politics but also comedy, so if you're the type of person who doesn't like politics, it's not in there to the point where it's like you have to drop the drama. It's there for the plot. But like the comedy is there to like save it. So even if you don't like politics, I feel like this is still a really good watch anyways because you'll be able to get through it. I will say though, like I said, he comes back looking a little different. Me personally, I liked his first look. I did.
命里注定该发生的事情，就一定都会发生吗？
他看我的眼神，仿佛我们从前就认识。
骠骑将军宋墨，以骑兵5000，夜袭京师。你还记得上一辈子的事情吗？
Finally, we have Wonderland of Love. if you wanted to ask me what drama is the definition of push and pull, I would give you this drama. The story follows the grandson or the son, I'm pretty sure it's the grandson of the emperor, but he's been long forgotten, not really forgotten, but like they don't actually consider him when it comes to like who's in line for the throne, and they basically only want him around to do what he's good at, which is going to war. On his journey, he ends up meeting a woman who is strong, talented, and amazing on the battlefield. They end up coincidentally meeting time and time again, and each time they encounter each other, they both try their best to outsmart the other, and it's not just one of them is winning every single time either. It's like a back and forth type of thing, and it's because of this that they actually end up forming a bond. But when they find out that they're not quite on the same side as they thought they were, and the achievements of this general, our main lead, starts building up to the point where the other crown princes consider him a threat rather than an ally, their lives become a little more complicated. I really like the pacing of this drama. Even though there is obviously one big climax that they are moving towards, there were so many subplots that felt like their own separate thing that I never really lost interest in what was happening, because there was always one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. I felt like every 2 to 3 episodes was its own mini drama, which is great because like it didn't feel like there was this big arc that was dragging the entire time. On top of this, both characters are really flirty and charismatic, which I really like in our female characters, because it just makes them so much more fun rather than like the guy just pursuing her the whole time and she's just like, oh, what? No, I can't. No, like they're both flirtatious, they're both charismatic, they're both smart, they're both strong, and I love that. Like if you want to give the definition of like strong female lead, like I would give it to this drama, because a lot of the times they'll say strong female lead and it's just her talking too much. But this is a really good watch, and if you haven't watched any of Shu Kai's drama, I would recommend that you watch this first.
细菌中赫赫有名的石器，就是皇孙李密。我知道我们校尉是大将军的女儿。
你这个女人，这出手也太狠了吧！
谁说我是女人？
我这个人很恩怨分明的，有仇必报。你说你个小姑娘家，不好好在闺阁里绣花，动不动暗算我，
可这无数长知。
我睡床上，你睡地上，不知道这样算谁胜谁负？
知己知彼，百战不殆。
Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys actually check out some of these dramas, and I really hope that you guys end up liking them, because I'm nervous that you guys are gonna watch this and be like, this is trash. Please watch some of these. Whichever one captures your interest the most, like I would say please watch it. I know I don't kind of do them justice with like their synopsises or anything like that, but again, as I keep on saying, I don't want to ruin the plot, but like the plot is the story, and I don't want to like say all that, but like trust, they're good. Trust me, they're good. Okay, anyways, I'm really done this time. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up to let me know. If you guys really like this video, how about you subscribe so that we can become besties? Hello. And if you guys are looking at this drama and you have other dramas you want to recommend that have these similar plots, go ahead and put them in the comments below. I've probably watched them, but there are probably a lot of you guys who haven't watched them, so maybe you guys can go into the comment section and see some other dramas that you might like that might be like these videos, that might be like these dramas. What I'm basically saying is that like you might find other dramas like these dramas in the comment section, because other people will be able to drop those in the comment section. Thank you. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. I don't want to ruin the plot, but like the plot is the story, and I don't want to like say all that, but like trust, they're good.